Hey, it's Dave, Dagryffyn Hobby. I got foam. Went to Home Depot. I have 6 sheets of the 2-inch thick foam and 4 sheets of the 1.5-inch foam. All of this is going on top of the layout. Now that the outer loop is done, I have to do the inner loop. But I decided to just do what I initially envisioned and put the inner loop up, a little bit above the outer loop. I was going to do 1 inch. I was considering a 1/2 inch. Couldn't really decide. Got to Home Depot. They didn't have any 1-inch thick foam. Building materials are hard to come by, I guess. All the 1-inch stuff was gone. So 1.5 inch it is. 2 would have been too much. 1.5 inch, we'll see. It will look interesting. So inner loop and everything else, well, everything but the outer loop is going to be at least 1.5 inch up. Will give you some ability to contour, and then I'm just going to build up and lay out some upper loops, see how that works out. So there's probably going to be, at least in the beginning, a lot of tunnel. I'm not sure that I want constant tunnel, so we'll see how that works out. I would like a bunch of shorter tunnels, and trains coming in and out of tunnels I think is interesting. I don't really want the train to disappear behind a tunnel across the whole back of the layout. But we'll see what comes up, what happens, how it works out. I don't really have a plan for how it's going to work other than I'm going to start building and see what happens. So, foam. I hope that's all I need. I don't want to go back for more. So check it out. Let's see how this goes. So everything's removed off this side of the layout. I need to remove the old foam road bed. Again, I'm going to try to save as much as possible. Then I'll lay the 1.5 inch foam inside the outer loop. So how am I measuring on this to cut? I measured the space inside the loop. I found the middle point, so it's roughly 47 inches maximum that I want. So I'm about 1 inch short of the full 48 of the width. So I put a screw in the middle at 23.5, and I just got this piece of wire, and I'll just kind of scribe it and see how that works. Because now I need to arch it this way and then straight. I'll see how far it is from the far side to the front edge. I'll measure that, then trace up it and see how it meets up with the curve that I just cut. So it's about 26 inches. 66 inches is where the straight is. So it should come up and curve. Can't really see it from here, but what I did was I laid a piece of track where the outer loop should be on this sheet and traced it from there. So I now have a line that comes up and then over. Okay, so if I measured right, this piece should snap off, should snap off, and be at the right spot. Should be. Might need a longer blade. I love breaking the foam. It goes straight and then turns, and that's pretty much what I figured. So let's just go for it. I'm not worried about precision. Close enough is good enough. As long as it's big enough. first part of the second level. Or the second part of the first level. Depends how you look at it. Now it's way too close to the track in spots, but that's fine because it's going to get carved down anyway. The reason why I cut it to fill the entire space is because I'm not exactly sure where this track's going to go. It might come straight this way. It might curve along this one. I don't really know. I've tried a couple different things, so we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. Yeah. And then the edges, wherever they end up, will be shaped down either like the edges or a brick wall or something. I don't know. Figure it out as I go. So that's the first part right there. This side of the layout has the 1.5 inch foam now cut to its approximate location. Started on the back, and I'm mocking up the next level above that to get an idea of where the track will go, so that I have enough variation in where the tracks are so that I can do mountains instead of like a trestle over. Based on this mock-up, tunnel portals will probably go right about here, maybe here, like that. Depends, but somewhere in this area. That's about half the depth of the table. And that'll be nice because then the trains will come out of the tunnel and around this mound here. If I use this idea, then this track will probably go back through a very short tunnel here. This would all be built up like mountain. So we'd have another portal. And then over here, maybe a bridge as this track continues this way. And this would come out here. This is kind of all speculation at this point. I'm just trying to not make a mistake with the inner loop on the bottom. I don't want to have to redo it again. I'd like this to be the last time I do this level. But seeing it like this, I'm finding this very exciting. I can kind of see that scenic in my head, and it looks pretty darn cool. This current setup would give me 3 loops, probably with a minimum radius of 0.42. Then do I keep going up, or do I do an 0.31 or 0.27 loop inside of this one? It's a good question. Maybe not a full height level, but kind of like I'm doing here, where I've got ground level, if you will, and then up 1.5 inches. If this is ground level, I could do another one up here, 1 inch, 2 inch. It doesn't have to be a full 6, although that would be pretty cool. I think as I get the inner loop on the bottom level set, I'll have a better idea of how the second level of track will go. I could do 0.27 where you won't see it, and the 0.42 where you do see it. That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna do some more mocking up here and see what we get. Okay, so I was thinking, if I did the 0.27 and 0.42 up top, that gives me enough clearance to not have to do any trestle work. I can just have, the mountain come down here and supports it. So that way this is exposed, this is on a wall, this doesn't go under the tunnel until back there somewhere. And this is 0.27 in the back where you wouldn't see it because that will be in mountain. And then it comes out and it's 0.42. My main concern with all of this is that's a lot of stuff stacked up, and how do I ensure that I can still get to the track on the bottom? I've considered making everything above the second inner loop lift off in sections. I don't know how feasible that is. I could cut access holes through this wall and access the layout from the other side. I don't want to, but I can. But even so, this side runs against a concrete wall. So obviously, I can't access that from the other side. I don't know, that's going to be another interesting problem to solve. Well, I definitely am going to need a track cleaning car. I don't know if this is where it's going, but I'm kind of geeking out over the idea of that much height and having trains running on all those 4 loops. Will we get there? Your guess is as good as mine at this point. Maybe I should stop distracting myself here and get back to the inner loop on the first level before I start really worrying about all that. But I really wanted to make sure that I could make the turns work, and it looks like I can. And I think I can be happy with the way that works out, so. Okay, so I'll try to stop distracting myself and get back to the task at hand. Thanks for watching. I hope you had as much fun watching the video as I had making it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Dagryffyn Hobby.